Good evening, YouTube! Woo! Yeah, so you can see what's on the agenda for this evening. We are a few minutes early. Midnight Moon. So the lineup looks pretty good. The thing we're going to do a little bit different tonight is the ectothermic dungeon has jumped ship. Yes, sir. As you can see in the background, we are no longer at home. We've gone a few towns over. We are visiting with Monroe Morphs and Dan Monroe, and we are going to cut an exciting clutch for me, only because there's a lot of connections and a lot of similarities to with my Bane clutch, my Clown clutch. I got a girl that I picked up from Nerd. It's the identical genes that Dan has. Yeah. And she's been bred for 2 years so far. We got 5 eggs 1 year, 7 eggs the next. And I just pulled 7 eggs today from her. And we've got 0 clowns for those first 2 years. So we'll see what happens with her in 60 days. But today we are definitely going to have some drinks. We're a couple beers in, and now we've jumped a course into the whiskey. And it is really toasty in here. We're sitting at about 86, 87 degrees. And we just turned the fans off, so now we're really starting to sweat. What we're going to do is we're going to start looking at just a couple adults, some stuff that looks really good that Dan wants to show off. And then we'll probably jump over and grab some of the hatchlings that you did this year, if that's all right.
Sure.
That look pretty cool. Some interesting stuff, some stuff that we can't really tell exactly what's in there. And then we're definitely going to jump toward the end there into that cutting and see what your Het Clown girl gives you, which I'm really excited for. So bear with us. And we're over here. So I'm Jim. We got Matt. And then Dan is here with us as well. We are going to get rid of this. Well, not get rid of the alcohol. We're not going to pound and drink it. But we're going to move it aside. And we're going to start looking at some animals and get this show on the road.
Sounds good.
You good? All right.
All right.
Yeah, cheers to you guys. There it is. Good luck.
Dan.
Clowns around. Clowns around.
Clowning around.
Clown around. May you have all clowns all around. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just look at some snakes.
All right. Where to start? Well, I guess we should start with the female. The same one that both of us have been breeding.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a story with this girl for you and your wife, yeah?
Correct. So, my wife, Stephanie, which if anyone has attended the shows like White Plains, New Hampshire, which we're generally at, when we got married a couple years ago, we ended up going up to Nerd. We picked up a couple of snakes. Ironically, that's part of our relationship and everything. It's been something we've done.
Snake driven?
Yeah.
Not just driven by your snake? Sorry.
It's been something.
This probably will not be a child-approved video, just so
not
you
as
guys...
the night continues, as the bottle goes down.
So what do we have here, Dan? Tell us about this female.
So this one is Lesser Pastel Yellow Belly Het Clown. Hopefully it proves out.
Yeah, I hope so.
Came from Nerd when we got married. Went up there for our honeymoon.
And for the people that may be online that thank you so much, that are maybe online that don't know what nerd means, what does that mean?
New England Reptile Distributors. She was paired to a Pastel Clown, which is the same pairing that you did.
And who would you say they are in the industry? Just really quick.
One of the well-known names. Great reputation. Have done a lot of different things with the ball python.
Been around for like 20, 30 decades in the ball python world. Yeah, so
ball python industry,
20, 30 decades. Wow.
Yeah, 30 years.
No, 20, 30 decades. Decades is 10 years.
Correct. That would be about 30 years.
30 decades?
20 or 30, yeah, what the fuck?
That's like 300 years, man.
We're gonna go get the water.
We're doing backwards math tonight. Leave me alone. I enjoyed my whiskey, which is See, that's the problem.
Jim drinks it
That's
all.
why it's 20 or 30 decades. That middle one is mine, and that's the way it's been all night. I finished mine, and them two people that are here like to sip. I'm like 3 or 4 ahead of them, so.
So yeah, ironically, we did the same pairing. Found out afterwards when we got to know Jim and Matt.
Oh, see, Mike commented, LOL, so he knows you very well. Does Mike know you?
Yes, he does.
He must, yeah, see.
And so we grew her up. We bred her to a Pastel Clown, which
exact same pairing.
at the moment,
Like identical pairing that I've done the past 2 years. There's so many similarities to this. Let's take a look at the male if you want, real quick.
Male is gone. I do not have the Pastel Clown male.
You know, good for you. Good for you.
Did upgrade him from Pastel Clown to an Enchi Pin Clown, which will be breeding this year as one of my project males.
All right.
So
you want to pull anything out and show off a couple other animals that you might have, like adults, maybe something you held back last year or whatever that looks pretty good, and then
we can go over a couple.
Maybe we'll look at a couple hatchlings and get right into the cutting.
Yeah. So let's see. Put her back.
Almost.
As we're already dying of heat down here.
I know, it's like ridiculous.
Well, what else we go? Oh, we could go right to that. So the Pastel Clown male is gone, but this will be the male breeding for this season. This is an Enchi Pin Clown, and actually, this is also, that's the male, and there is a female as well, which once she gets up to size, they're pretty close in size. They were bought as a pair. These were not produced by me.
And as far as you know, they have the same exact genes, no extra hets or nothing?
No, I don't. There's no extra hets, but I will say you can tell there's kind of a color difference.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes things pop up, you never know. But this male will be breeding to an array of het clown females that came up to size this season. So regardless of this clutch and the results, next season there should be a lot of visual clowns.
Excellent. I'm interested to take a look at a couple of the hatchlings from this year. What you got? You were
one cool one that he has. What from last? Is it last year or the year
Oh,
before?
the subadult, the coral glow.
Yeah.
I posted that picture on Instagram before we got started. You want to maybe we'll take a look at that one, and then I hear you've got a couple really nice animals like an Enchi yellow belly pied and a really phenomenal super pastel het clown female that maybe we can take a look at, and then we'll a couple small hatchlings from this year, and then really get into it.
So this was one of the males I produced last season, which has grown
man
insanely.
almighty.
I don't know if the camera's picking up how bright it is. When it was born, it was like
it's
a
not
starburst.
It's not, dude. It is definitely not quite as intense as what he really looks like, but oh my goodness.
And there are few snakes that come out where the wife says,
"You're keeping it,"
and this is one of them.
Yeah, that's just nuts.
Just ridiculously orange when it was first born, and the color has just stayed. So he will be breeding this season. I have not figured out to exactly what.
Welcome, Flash Dragons. Thanks for showing up. And yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but I really wish you could see the amount of pink. Like, there's really crazy orange right here, but like the pinks where this white starts, it's literally like pink, like starburst pink. Yeah, here, maybe I can help you a little. Maybe a little bit. That made it adjust it a little bit. Did that make it better or worse?
A little more light.
Yeah, there it is. That's a little better.
That I have listed as a Coral Glow Enchi Cinnamon Pin. Questionable if there's pastel as well.
It's whiskey. I'll show you in a second. Dan's talking. Hold on.
Oh, they're drinking beer. Modelo.
Oh, that's what you're drinking. Sweet. Well, we kind of skipped the beer tonight, and we're getting into the like little crazy. So if I miss a word or two, I completely apologize. Thanks, assistant cameraman. It's literally about like 87, 88 degrees and like crank it up in here. You can see the sweat V on Dan's shirt there starting to happen.
It's coming
And
quick.
Dan's wearing a hat. Like what? Crazy.
I got to hide
Yeah.
the hair.
All right, so two more quick subadult adults,
Okay.
and then a couple hatchlings, and then we're gonna get into some cutting. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with a pie. Ain't that the truth?
I don't know where this one came from.
Me either.
I don't remember the breeder.
Yeah, some no-name chump. I
I
should
think
have.
it's Ted.
Ted,
If you
yeah.
abbreviate it.
I should have kept it.
So this one did come from the dungeon. I had to scoop this one up last season.
God, dude,
This one's
the orange,
Enchi,
bro.
yellow belly.
Like,
hide.
look at that.
Should not be anything else. She is growing like a weed.
Danielle, I feel you. I'm in the same spot. I want to cut these eggs like right now, only because I've struck out 2 years with the exact same animal from the same breeder, no less, and the same exact pairing. So Dan managed to put the same male to this girl that he has from them. So, yeah, I want to cut them too, but like I'm trying to draw it out just a little bit. When you get excited and you start cutting eggs, like they go quick, and there's only what you said you had 8, 6 eggs. Yeah, so that's gonna go real fast.
And then this is actually another one from the dungeon.
Oh, that's a money shot right there. That's insane.
And that one is Super Pastel Het Clown. We're going to call that plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I kept a sibling, but like a dumbass, I kept just a pastel. So a single gene of this. And, my girl looks good, but like this one is just, she's just dumb. Look at that head stamp. Just the eye stripes. Oh, run away, baby, run away. Yeah, she looks good. You got any hatchlings you want to show off?
Yeah, I'll show a couple quick.
So he's got a rack. Now, Dan's a little bit ahead of us.
This season, there was... This clutch we're cutting tonight is clutch number 20.
Matt's on. He says, hello, Uncle Dan.
Hello.
Finally got the chat to work.
This is clutch number 20. This is the last clutch for me this season.
Wow.
For hatchlings, this is what I have left, and a majority of these are actually holdbacks.
Now, do you remember when your first clutch dropped for you this year?
First clutch was actually in February.
February. So
Yep.
our first clutch drop was what, June?
June or July, somewhere around.
June.
Yeah.
Well, we already cut, so
Yeah.
we just started cutting the past like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So
Right.
yeah, Dan was way ahead of us as far as
Starting his season.
yeah.
We keep the secret is playing Barry White.
Oh,
They haven't caught on yet.
I thought you were gonna say Barry Manilow, and then I was just gonna slap you.
So again, don't know if this is really again captured on the video.
Yeah, actually,
We were
looks pretty good over here.
It's pretty great.
Okay. We were talking about this earlier because this is one of my holdbacks. This is a Pastel Enchi something. And the reason I say that is because based on the pairing, it doesn't make sense why it's so clean and so bright. The pairing was a cinnamon Enchi to a butter pastel shredder. And I'll show what the shredder gene is in a minute. That is something that only a couple people are working with. I am fortunate enough to have it in my collection. I personally don't see what Shredder should do in this. I could be wrong, but it is bright in comparison. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this thing looks insane. I've made pastel inchies, and they don't look anything like that.
this is
That's your typical.
that's a pastel enchi. If I can get her head up. Adult content.
Yeah,
only.
I mean, it's almost like a ghost-like color on the black. Whole bunch of additional blushing, and then the yellows are just very, very different. This animal down here is just ridiculous compared to this one here, and there just has to be. What's up? What's up? Going? Wow. Yeah, there it is. Ball Pythons Boulevard. What's going on, Mike? Yeah, so there's definitely something else going on there. Not sure what it is, but it looks really good. Maybe one more and maybe get into some eggs.
So I'll show quickly what a shredder is, as long as it doesn't tag me. So shredder is on the same idea like Nanny and some of the other granite type jeans.
This your classic
Classic
shredder.
shredder, very kind of like untrained eye, almost looks like normal. Usually has a marking on the back, has a lot of noise here, breaks up the pattern, and it's one of those jeans that, again, you mix it with the right stuff.
It just unlocks kind of stuff.
Correct.
Maybe not quite yellow belly-ish, but like does certain things that are really cool with other stuff.
Which there are a couple things that currently working with, won't show in this video, but again, you put it with the right stuff, it does some interesting things.
Sweet.
So let's cut some eggs.
Yeah, so that was a quick look around. Yeah, like the sweat is just like running down the face. What's going on, Juan? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. Makes me feel important. All right, right back to egg cutting. So now this is incubator number 1, and then you got the hot veg. I meant the hot box. You said you're getting rid of that, and you have another one. Like? Oh, it is.
Is staying.
Okay.
This incubator down here is going and getting replaced with the second one of these.
Yep.
Thanks to, again, talking with you guys, the Systemas are actually going to be used next season. These are just samples to see how they fit in here, and they're going to replace the egg boxes. They just work overall better.
Mikey likes that one.
Brendan says, hi, Dan. Looks good.
Let's see.
Oh man, I'm like just barely starting to tremble. I'm getting excited, dude. I want to see.
The day count, we're here. We're on day 56. They are still plump. I did check them. There's movement in the eggs. Everything looks good, but they have not started to collapse at all yet. So we're going to see. I will say this. This is the one thing I did different with this clutch is all my other clutches this season I did vermiculite. This is the one clutch I did with perlite. Different. Just tried something different. The vermiculite, I did have decent success.
Well, why did you change?
The reason I did change is, as you can see, I put my eggs straight in, whereas other people tend to float them. They put them on the diffusers.
That's kind of how we do it. Yeah.
I did that last season. After last season, this season, and a couple other seasons, I think I'm going to go back to floating them.
Yeah.
Just going back and forth, it seems like that's the better option. Justin and a couple other breeders seem to sink them, and
vermiculite.
They seem to have
good luck
good results, but
and you know
personal experience.
I don't think it really matters, honestly. Like if you get the substrate right as far as moisture content, it doesn't matter. The reason I like putting them on the parabolic lens or the light diffuser or whatever is because I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to sweat over whether it's too wet or it's too dry. I don't have to add stuff to it. I can saturate the living crap out of it, and it's going to be perfect all the way to the end. So wait, hold on. What is that?
Oh.
You've got golden scissors. Where did you find golden scissors, Dan? I only have golden scissors.
eBay.
Oh, I've been eBayed.
I got 2 for the price of 1, too.
Brandon likes the gold.
Come on, clowns.
All right, here we go. Yeah, this may be... Yeah, come on, clowns is right. Welcome, Joe. Thanks for showing up, man. Good to see you online. Now, everybody may cut these a little bit different, and Dan definitely does not get into it. That looks like a Pastel Lesser from that micro cut.
Yellow belly? I see lesser pastel.
Yeah, that's what...
Need a bigger hole.
This is the guy with the little one. I need a bigger hole.
Needs to fit.
Okay.
Yep. Pastel Lesser.
Goopy goop.
So these are a little different. Typically, when you get toward the end of the incubation cycle, if you will, a lot of these eggs will start to dimple, and they kind of use up a lot of the. Oh, that's a clown. That's a lesser clown or a pastel lesser clown. You can just tell by the head, yeah. Rock on, bro. You just proved her out. Very nice.
There you go.
Good for you. So 1 clown in the mix.
What we got?
And when they start to dimple, they kind of really look like the egg looks right now. You get all this like little concave stuff going on here, and it just makes it easier to start cutting. And
There we go. We're live again.
whew,
And we're
are we back up? We're back up. So sorry. We had an app crash, and then I couldn't get back on without the Wi-Fi. It just wouldn't reconnect. So I totally apologize about that. That is totally my fault for being ill prepared and drinking too much alcohol. So we did not go any further. But I am going to show you this animal right here. If you can, ooh, we can't see that. Maybe we can. That really looks like a super pastel lesser clown, which is a ridiculous animal. And then over here we have a pastel lesser het clown, which is still not a bad animal. But that will be one that Dan will be giving to me for shooting this video. And he's hoping he hits another one so that he can have something to keep.
Whew. Well, at least we got some air in between.
Yeah, we cranked the fan while we were doing all the technical stuff and whoa, that was a squirter. Sorry, just not right.
Welcome back to the late show.
Dan, you should have put the gate on my. Well. Yeah, Juan, I have to agree with you. I like what they do by themselves, no less, and then in combos.
Normal.
Frozen time.
Or yellow belly.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that's a normal. That's too wacky for a normal. But yeah, that definitely looks at least yellow belly-ish. I'll have to see what that one comes out with. Desmond is loving watching his uncle on YouTube. Oh, I'm going to have to keep coming back to this. I can't wait to take it home. Doesn't matter, boy or girl.
Another squirter.
Only if you push hard enough. Wow, that was like 2 squirts.
Oh.
Yeah, that's at least a Pastel Clown, Super Pastel Clown. Dude, F you already. No, I'm happy for you. I'm glad your girl proved out. You don't have to go through like 3 or 4 years of trying to breed and prove out.
That is nice.
Yeah, the color.
It's just bright.
Yeah, that's a Super Pastel Clown.
Nice, dude.
Great odds so far, 2 for 2. I mean, 50%, which is kind of really where you should be. So in this clutch with a visual to het, you should hit 50%. So technically, one more het, one more visual. I guess we'll see what the odds gods give you. But, Dan gets to keep that one, and that one goes home with Jim.
Hey, Caleb. Welcome for... Thank you.
Keeper do what you want to do. Have another drink.
Yeah, looks another.
I don't know. There's
maybe a pastel.
Normal.
I wouldn't say normal. That's at least pastel.
Yeah, that looks pastel.
Yeah.
Looks like it's coming out.
Maybe.
It's like,
I'm coming out. I want the world to. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, that's at least a pastel. Maybe a pastel yellow belly. I don't really see any flames, but so at least pastel. 100% het clown and killer clown and a super pastel lesser clown.
All right.
So glad I called that one.
I'm,
Last egg. Need one more visual.
I'm gonna say this one's going to be a lesser clown.
You're calling lesser clown?
Lesser clown.
Lesser clown. What are you calling?
Pastel.
Pastel. I'm calling a het clown. Sorry.
That'd be a pastel. Oh,
You're saying
No,
pastel
sorry.
clown?
Yeah, Brendan's calling a clown. Here we go. Drum roll. Oh, and there is one. Yellow Belly Clown by Dave.
It's a lesser something.
It's a lesser het clown. Maybe a pastel lesser het clown. Danielle called clown.
Lesser.
Lesser. So you got a little bit slighted by the odds.
2 clowns.
Although the benefit of the whole thing really is to prove her out. So you did that. So that's
all that mattered.
That's fantastic. And that's what I'm hoping for this year. I don't want to go with this negotiation war with the breeder. Even though it probably won't be that bad, but I'd rather just, pop a clown and not worry about it.
You've been slimed.
Ghostbusters.
That looks so good. Ooh. That one looks even better.
Brendan says well done, Dan.
Yeah,
Thank
dude.
you,
Solid clutch. So, what do we end up with in total? So the Super Pastel Lesser Clown, Super Pastel Clown, Pastel Lesser Het Clown, another
A pastel hit.
either a lesser or a pastel lesser het clown. And then this one is a pastel het clown. And what do we end up with over here? What was this
either
one?
a normal or a yellow.
Normal or a yellow belly het clown. Yeah, Mike, this is a phenomenal clutch. It really is. For a first year grower.
We just can't talk.
Beer and whiskey just get in the way. A first year girl gets in her first season and proves out. I mean, that's beautiful. I'm going into the year 3 of the exact same female trying to prove out the exact same thing, exact same pairing from the exact same breeder. So we're hoping that we can finally do that. Otherwise, it's a whole negotiation process with that breeder for some kind of a replacement because apparently she doesn't have the gene that she's supposed to have. But the next cutting, is that it for you, Dan? You're done for
That is
this?
it. I will start pairing in about another month.
Don't drop the
Start it
golden
over.
scissors. So another month, and then about 6 months, 7 months from there.
The rotation starts again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Donnie? Welcome. I'll show you what we got. So again, we are at Monroe Morphs tonight. Buddy of ours, right down the street from us, and the neat thing with this clutch is that he had a Pastel Lesser Yellow Belly Het Clown from Nerd that he picked up, and he bred to a Pastel Clown. So now, if that rings any bells for you, for me, my Bane clutch has been my Pastel Lesser Yellow Belly Het Clown girl from Nerd, bred to a Pastel Clown male. And for the past 2 years, I've been unable to prove her out. However, Dan has, amongst other things,
Caleb says
hit
that,
a
Dan.
super pastel
How's it going,
lesser
Caleb?
clown.
Whew.
And then in this egg, hit a
That was warm.
super pastel clown. And then we got some hets. So we got a lesser pastel het for clown. A lesser, I think this one's just going to end up being lesser, but it might be some pastel in there, het clown. A pastel het clown, and then this one over here was a yellow belly or normal het clown. Pattern looks really wacky. I don't know if you can see in there. We'll see. Got some flaming. So we'll see what happens when those come out of the egg. We may have to journey over here and take a look at all these guys once they do come out of the egg and shed and give you guys an update. But our next egg cutting is next Saturday. So for you guys that were asking, not this Saturday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we will be cutting.
September 7th.
Yeah,
Right
well,
before the White Plains show.
yes, sir.
The day before.
Yeah, the day before the White Plains show, we will be cutting
Join us.
our second, not our second, but like, what is that, clutch 6?
Or
5? 5. It'll be clutch 5.
4 or 5.
5. Puzzle was 4.
No, puzzle was 4. The black pastel was 5. This one will be
6.
6. Because we just did 5 last night.
Ivory, spider.
Yeah, that's right. It's still in the incubator, right? Yep. So this will be clutch 6 for us. And today, the female that's equivalent to this here, for us, just laid eggs. So we got 7 beautiful eggs from her. And yeah, dude, for real, Rich, this is a fantastic clutch. I mean, just to prove out a female that has so much stigma around her. I've been talking to Dan about this girl for the past year and a half.
It's been a conversation we've had every time we meet up.
Yeah, pretty much. Like when I say Bane, Steph says, "Hey, Daddy." I'm just the messenger. Like,
I'll see you later. I got that energy drink. Don't forget.
Oh no, the whiskey's kind
So-
of opposite.
yeah. So this is really cool. It was a good clutch, dude. Yeah, really nice. Congrats. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, that's solid. I'm glad you proved her out.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you hit a really cool one in there too.
Yeah.
That one
I
right
mean, you
there.
got like the high yellow hiding in the corner, and then just the
That one
creme de la creme. I mean, the only thing that could be even better than that is the yellow belly. Throwing the
Now,
yellow belly in there.
Normally, want girls for holdbacks, but
In this case, it don't matter. Both
don't
of them.
matter.
Both of them stay here, unless they're
But-
both
but
boys.
That would be a good boy right now.
If they're
Yeah.
both boys, though, what do you do?
See which one has the more jeans.
That's toughie.
Yeah, if they're both boys, that's a decision to be had. Well, I mean, if they're both boys, it's a no-brainer. You keep the killer lesser, and you sell the killer clown.
Everything else, though, once it has its meals and sheds and everything, will be available
Do you get your? The question is where do you get your ReptiChip online?
from ReptiChip,
Directly.
directly from ReptiChip.
So do you? So I know they have distributors like Miguel. Miguel's the newest distributor out of California, so they finally got California squared away. East Coast is it still
East Coast
kickballs?
is right now. It's still kickballs.
Okay, so we're East Coast. Where did you get yours?
Currently, I ordered direct from Reptichip.
Okay.
I spoke direct with JT.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, and you didn't get just one or two blocks, like.
Nope.
Pallet.
This is
No.
what's left.
So I don't.
Blocks,
There's
but
like 9 blocks, 10 blocks there. That's like 3 or 4 deep.
Yeah, and that's a shipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 11 there.
And that'll be for a couple rotations.
Sure. And now, have you used other types of cocoa bedding? Do you use paper? What else do you use? Anything else?
Paper. There's different times of the year that paper can be better, I guess. For like humidity aspect, if
Sure.
you're talking, if your room is very, very humid, everything, and you saturate the chip too much,
Yeah.
which can happen. If you do it right, then you get it right. But if you're, confined and you put too much water, it's gonna get saturated, and then you have a hot room. It's gonna hold that moisture. That's what it does. So paper can be better if you have a very humid room, but you're gonna have to clean paper a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
It kind of forces you to stay on top of your animals. I mean, there's
which
no.
you should anyways.
Yeah, true, but there's no forgiveness with paper at all. Like.
Right, you're gonna change paper every single day, the whole bin, everything like that, complete tear down. Whereas the Reptichip, you'll spot clean, and you should change the whole bin over every month at most.
Yeah. Now, have you used other types of cocoa bedding other than Reptichip, or have you always been a Reptichip dude?
So far, always been a Reptichip.
Okay. So like us, I've been messing around with other stuff. So I've tried Pro Cocoa Peat, Pro Cocoa Chip.
Grow it.
Grow It was one that we most recently tried, and I've tried the Freedom Breeder one as well. We picked some of that out last year. I picked a couple blocks up when I was in Tinley last year, and to me, aside from Grow It was mostly fibrous.
Yeah.
Not really worth the money. It really doesn't hold moistures. So unless you have a really high humidity in your room in the area, like say southern Florida or Southern California, where you're on the coast and you have a lot of humidity, maybe that makes sense. Or Dan's room. Dan's room is really humid, and we're in Connecticut. Then that may make sense. But I felt that Reptichip and the stuff from Freedom Breeder was relatively the same. I mean, the size of the chips may have been slightly different, not that big a deal. The Pro Cocoa is slightly more fibrous, but like nothing in comparison to the Grow It stuff. So we just picked up like 5 or 6 blocks of the Pro Cocoa only because it's a price point thing for me. Like I can grab that stuff at $14 a block. I can pick it up at the local show. I can get like 5, 6, 10, 20 blocks of the stuff at a time. Where Reptichip, if I'm not buying a half a pallet or a pallet, it's just too pricey. Like if I try to buy 10 of them, for the most part, there's really not a price break for me, and I'm still paying $18 to $20 a block. So it's just slightly different for me where I'm at anyway. I just. And I love JT. I've met him. I've talked to him at Tinley. I love the product. The product I feel is a bit superior, but the price point, at least right now where I'm at with my stuff, I'm at a Pro Cocoa level.
Right.
So, you have anything else you want to show off? Anything else you want to talk about? Put out there? How about so let me ask you this. So how do people get a hold of you? So we've taken a look at some of your sub-adults and adults that are going to be pairing this coming season, so you can kind of see the direction you're going just a little bit, just a touch. And then we had a great look at some of the animals that were absolutely fantastic as far as what you've produced this year, at least what's left. some of the stuff that you've held back. So things are really looking good for you going into next season. If somebody looks at your stuff and they like what you see, not your personal stuff, but like the snakes you've produced, how do they get a hold of you? How can we
So
follow up with Dan and Monroe Morphs?
this is the first time, obviously, on YouTube. Jim, Matt, I'm on their channel. I do not have a channel right now. It's something that,
Actually, you do,
well,
but there's 0 videos on it. But you do have a channel.
it's something that was pushed off, and definitely should put the time into. But I am on Instagram. My wife does handle the Instagram mostly. I'm more handling the Facebook.
So
and
if
email.
they want to find you on Instagram, what's your handle?
Monroe Morphs. And then
Are you on Facebook as
on
well?
Facebook as well under the same email, monroemorphs22@gmail.com. We do generally attend the New Hampshire reptile shows. White Plains is kind of in between. We will be at the White Plains show in November for the mega show.
Nice. Yeah, that should be a good one. They've expanded that show. So they typically have the main floor, the stage, the annex, and they've also opened up the whole lower area, which is typically running with like the video's still on. Oh, okay. Anyway, and they opened up the whole lower segment of that same building so that they're just going to have a ton of vendors. Typically, they call like over 250 vendors for that show, and they're expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of like 350 to 400 or so.
It should be a really good show.
Yeah, it should be pretty big. And what'd you go digging out there?
Just basically looking for the contacts. I don't know if that's picking up.
Yeah, it is. You just hold that right there. So there's your Facebook. There's your Instagram. So Monroe.morphs and Monroe Morphs, one word, on Facebook. There's your email. And he's also on Morph Market. So you can definitely check out what he has available there. And then you get a quick glimpse into what's going into next season and see what comes out of this house. I know there's some pretty cool things, some decent pairings and a lot of clown stuff. And there's some burgundy stuff in the background, some ultra mel, ultra glow, some pied stuff. Yeah.
A lot of Exantic for next season.
And
what
line of Exanthic do you run?
So that was kind of accidental. There is a story with that as well. Jim and Matt do run the SK line, and due to a different purchase, I accidentally came across the.
You said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
You said doo-doo. And you're talking about VPI. Now don't be hating on yourself.
VPI. But I stuck with it, so it is a line that I. I'm sorry, I threw that over your head.
Yeah, well, that's only because he was jumping. Doo-doo.
Okay, the stool's over there.
Anyway.
So that is a line I am running with, and there should be a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, dude, you got what? Scaleless head in there. You got
Scaleless
pied
head,
in there.
I have pie. I have a lot of double heads.
Here comes the whiskey.
He's got a Lav Snow.
Xantic Clown. I have Lav Snow, pied Xantic. A lot of double heads. So hopefully next season, it's more of this. Just hitting the right odds. And then next season there should also be some normal looking snakes that will be great value with triple recessives. So some long road projects. Can't say really what they are at the moment, but there's going to be some long time stuff coming, and it'll be fun. So
Very puzzling.
very puzzling.
Puzzling. There'll be some puzzles.
As well as still some projects in the works that we'll see where they go.
They're under wraps. So I think with that, we're going to kind of call it a night. I'm dying of heat. It is so hot down here. Do you have a temp probe? Like what?
No, he doesn't.
What's the
looking for
temp
one,
and humidity?
86.
Really? You don't feel like 86. Humidity's got to be through the roof.
It's got to be like 80% down here.
Yeah, well, it's up there. But anyway, again, this is the Ectothermic Dungeon in Monroe Morphs. We both would like to thank you guys for taking a little bit of time out of your holiday weekend.
Yeah.
It's a holiday weekend, so enjoy yourself, be safe, and did I say safe or safe?
You said be safe.
Be safe. So be safe. Be safe. Yeah, it's a dad comment. I know. I freaking do it all the time. I'm sorry.
He's got kids that are at the drinking age. So
Yeah, I mean, my oldest is 26. And my
Ready to go
youngest is
run in the
23.
backyard?
I'm not going in the backyard. You got chiggers back there. That's not happening. No, I made that mistake once.
Whiskey
Anyway,
doesn't
hey, y'all guys have a happy Labor Day, and thanks for taking a little bit of time with us. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Thank you.
He said, ask him the temp in our office.